President Nana of Ghana, my colleagues, heads of state, distinguished leaders who are here, ladies and gentlemen, good morning, and thank you very much for affording me a few minutes to add my voice to the excellent work that has been done by President Akufo-Addo. When you spoke about what we need to do as a continent, it quickly reflected on what we said in Nairobi at the Africa Climate Summit. And we have been consistent, whether it is in Nairobi or Paris or New York or Dubai, where we came from the COP28. Our message has been consistent. And I think today we are very happy that the whole world has come around. There was a time when a conversation about the global financial architecture debate looked like it was an us versus them debate. I'm very happy that today every capital and North and South have agreed that there is something fundamentally wrong about the global financial architecture. And I think recognition that the problem exists is actually half the solution, because you can't solve a problem if you don't think it exists. I think we have made the case sufficiently, and today every capital believes that there is a problem with the global financial architecture and something must be done about it. And therefore, we must lead on all fronts. And I agree with President Nana that I think he told us God helps those who help themselves. Let me paraphrase it. The Bible says, faith without works is dead. I mean, you can't believe in something and then you do nothing about it. So this is why the realization that there is something to be done about the global financial architecture, as the people from Africa in this AU setup, we decided in Nairobi that we're not going to take the corner of victims and to try and point fingers and blame game. We're going to do something about it, and we're going to be part of the solution. And I am very happy that this morning, President Nana has made two fundamental proposals which I wholly support. Number one, he has made a proposal that we must empower our own African financial institutions, multilateral institutions. He has made a proposal that 30% of all our reserves that are in all manner of places, earning sometimes negative interest, we should make it available to our African multilateral financial institutions. I agree 100%. It is a step in the right direction, and we are doing something ourselves about it, about the whole global financing, development financing architecture. I also support the proposal that we put a stamp of approval on these institutions and make them AU agencies. They must carry our badge of approval, so that even as they operate, they are given the proper recognition that they serve this continent. President Orama here of Free-Exim knows when I came into office, the first thing, I increased Kenya shares in his organization because we believe in African organizations. My good brother Tadese there of Trade Development Bank knows we paid more as Kenya into his organization. We must match what we say with what we do. So I am encouraged that Nana is now pushing the whole continent into the space where we can formally and unequivocally support these institutions. I also agree that instead of globe-trotting and going to every other place, we need to organize our own development, financing, economic summit, where we invite those who want to do business with us to come and engage with us. I think it's only fair. We have made good our part of the bargain. We have gone to many capitals. Surely it is time for them to come to ours also. And I think we won't be asking for too much. And I will take up the challenge, President Nana. If it is agreed that that be the case, I will offer to host the first summit. But even as we do this here in our continent, we must never shy away from taking our ideas, our suggestions into the global stage. And that is why Kenya is participating both, and we are co-leading both the task force on international taxation to scale up development, climate and nature action. That task force includes Germany, France, Colombia, and Barbados. We are also engaged in the expert review on debt, nature, and climate. These two initiatives, as we represent our side of the divide, we have made it absolutely clear that we no longer are going to participate in a place where we are given already agreements, rules, regulations made by others. We will only sign onto any regulations or agreements if our input, our ideas, and our suggestions are inbuilt. We have had very tough negotiations because we said we will no longer be passengers. And when we made a commitment that in Nairobi that we are going to be part of the solution, we indeed must be. And so, let me just make two suggestions. You know, there is an attempt, because we have the largest reserves of renewable energy in Africa, there is an attempt to make it look like it is very expensive to unlock these renewable energy resources. But nobody is telling us that on the whole, renewable energy ultimately is much more efficient and is cheaper in the long run. So those who want to tell us it's expensive to upfront investment in renewable energy, we need to tell them, don't tell us half the story, tell us the whole story. That yes, it may be heavy upfront,